Hello. How is it, like really scratchy or just a little scratchy? Like right here? More scratchy, less scratchy? Good here.
I think it's independent of what you do.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just happens.
I can't control the scratchiness. I want to control everything. Okay. Thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Johannes, for having Kate and I, to Johannes' students who had to listen to me earlier today. Thank you guys for coming. Francisco from the Institute of Latino Studies, thank you as well, and Jean and Anne Mallon for our talk earlier, and it is a great pleasure to be with Kate again as well. So I'm going to read in two parts. The first part I'll read from Valdivia by Gallo Gigliotto, and I'll do that for about 10 minutes, and then read about 10 minutes of my own work. Gallo Gigliotto is a Chilean writer, born in 1977, and this may have been his first book. It came out in 2006. I actually think it's out of print in Chile. It is a kind of coming-of-age narrative. He grew up in Valdivia during the Pinochet dictatorship, and there's a kind of first-person narrator, a young boy who is fleeing the town with his mother from an abusive father, among other things. Valdivia is a region in Chile, a city in Chile, in the south of Chile, that where it rains all of the time, where Gallo describes it as being a place that is kind of full of mythologies, both from the indigenous Mapuche as well as from the region. In 1960, it had the largest earthquake known to the world, and one of the folk tales that comes out of it, one of the mythological tales that comes out of that, is about a widow who lost her children and husband in the tsunami during the 1960 earthquake and is always looking for them at night. And there's another story of a house that burns down completely, but never actually burns down. You see it burning all of the time, but it never actually burns down. So I'm going to kind of start towards the end of Valdivia and read a few pieces. It's a long poem divided into about 40 short segments. 27. Last night I dreamt I was the devil and I had amazing powers. I could transform men into women and vice versa. I could change humans into ghosts and give ghosts back their flesh. Move objects from one place to another just by pointing my finger at them. I could make anything appear. I was sitting with a group of people and they were asking if I wasn't ashamed to be the devil. I told them I wasn't, and I tried to explain to them that I wasn't the devil, but just one of many. But it was a lie, so I thought it was best to keep quiet, or just to say no, I wasn't ashamed. Someone asked me for a photo album lost thousands of years ago, and instantly I made it appear. A man told me his young daughter had died a long time ago and he missed her so much. So I slowly turned my head, following the line of the horizon, and I could see inside some houses where old films were projected on the walls. I saw the father and his daughter playing on a patio that is now this building. I saw them constructed, a house in the only tree on the street. And I also saw the ghost of the young girl glowing in the night, walking on the tree branches, sadly pretending to feed dead chicks. Inside a house as ghostly as she was, so I said to her father, climb up on this building and jump over to that tree. He believed in me and he did it. And the moment he touched the foliage, he turned into the ghost of a young father who he himself was. And he fell into the house that was shining like a translucent cube made of radiant lines, and they hugged each other so much that I had to pause time for the living to see the entire embrace. It lasted 500 years, and from its tears were born the sea and the rivers of Valdivia. 41. Last night I dreamt I was the devil, but I was good. I found a dwelling for the lost souls and sealed them in beer bottles, which I distributed throughout the city of Valdivia. 28. One night I went to speak to the scriptwriter who crafted my dreams. I asked him to kill me while I slept and to leave me locked in the images of sunflowers rubbing the riverbank, with the brilliance of the sky and the whisper of our true names through the wind's mouth. I offered him my God as a sacrifice. I promised to revere him in the world where he left me. I told him that just like the creator of the heavens and the earth, I was a boy lost in the universe who needed to invent his own parents. I told him I no longer wanted Valdivia to be the name of my genealogy. But he told me everything was predetermined. Long ago, he told me, remember the divine vicious circle. He told me perhaps a message at the moment of escape, but the rest is written in the book of zombies that you yourself wrote. Long before you were born, you wrote it. "31. A house is blazing in the city of Valdivia. Inside of it is a woman burning. The firefighters can see her, and though they have the nozzles in their hands, they are stupefied, because in the flames they can see this woman transforming into a white silhouette who sings and dances, and it looks like the flame is just the orchestra, because her eyes have gone. She dances in flames behind the window while tongues and dragons of fire encircle the house. Dragons who appear to stare in fascination at the firefighters who study how the tongues of fire try to touch the moon, which radiates spookiness and silence. The night is blacker than ever. The fire burns, and its crackle is the music of a woman who dances to the beat of the fables, to the beat of a circus of gypsies that appears and disappears with the rain. The woman who dances is a witch, they say. She goes out some nights, transformed into a bird, but with her actual face, a bird of fire. I wonder if it nests in this burning house, that the firefighters are looking at, entranced, as they do nothing, not understanding that the white stain with arms and legs moving through the house in the flame is flesh and bone, and she doesn't die because she has a past. She has a pact with the witches, who are also birds, and who throw stones over the houses of those who are going to die, because death is Valdivia's daily bread. The dead don't want to leave this place, and they'd rather stay white, like the woman rustling in the flames, and who can be seen through the windows, crossing the living room in flames outside. The firefighters don't know what to do, and they haven't even sprayed a drop of water when the house suddenly goes dark and the flames disappear as if they had never even been there, without leaving even a trace of the fire, without leaving even an ash, even on the closed-up curtains. The firefighters stunned with the dry nozzles in their hands. They don't understand where the dragons went, the tongues of fire that licked the night. But there's not even a trace. The fire is out. There's not even a mark in the unscathed house. Just a white-haired woman barely leaning out. She moves slowly, slow movements, drawing the curtain, with white eyes watching, leaning out one of the windows. And I'll read two last pieces from Valdivia. 37. The scriptwriter who crafts my dreams whispers in my ear. I can't quite hear what he says. When I turn, he's gone, and I wake up. I have a piece of paper inside my mouth. It says, enough. Then I understand. It's time to leave Valdivia. 42. I can recognize the shadows that will kill my parents. It falls over the curtain in the master bedroom of a house in the Via Rucaue. The non-believers say the shadow is a tree, but I know it's a spirit starving to become flesh through blood. No one believes what I say because I'm so young. People undervalue childhood because they forget that we kids are still connected to our lives outside the water. I can tell the difference between a good gargoyle and a bad one, as if it were crazy. My heart often turns gargoyle, and at least I distinguish when it's good and when it's bad. I can recognize the shadow that will kill my parents. Nobody but Carmen believes me. Carmen is the wet nurse. Nobody but Carmen believes me because she's also seen the black birds with human faces flying over the countryside, dropping their death holes that sound like stones on the roof of our house. She has also seen the figures the night sketches when it's hungry, who have been hovering for a while over the city of Valdivia. They know how to read the shadows like oracles. My parents' sin was to be alien to this land and to not know that long before them, other people had come to this very house, and they wander in and out of my dreams, because those who are not living and those who have also not finished dying have the keys to all the rooms, even the keys to the oneric doors, to the doors of my wardrobe, where we keep the animals that will leave the stampede. I can recognize the shadow that will kill my parents, because it falls on us in this double bed, where they sleep at my sides while I am awake in the care of fear, trying to banish the spirits with the only incantation I know, Our Father who art in heaven.